All right, Ice Queen Gaming, Dawn, how are you? And you are first. Take a minute to put on my goggles here. Even though I can enlarge the letters on the PC, I find it easier to put the glasses on. So, yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you as we are live from Wakanda. You know what to do. Hit the bell icon, hit the like button. The rest will take care of itself. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. And Jemiah Dixon, what is up, bro? I'm still waiting for you to have your own podcast, man. When you and Sick get together, it's pretty good, man. So I'd like to see you know, your take on a lot of the gaming topics from your own perspective solo. Craig Harris, what is up? Is this Mass Effect? Afraid not. uh, but um, Walmart is having clearance sales on TVs. You might be able to get a real nice TV to play Mass Effect on. Mr. Pyle, what is up? Jemiah, I got my eye on you, man. You know, come on, man. At least do one. At least do one stream. You know, maybe when E3 hit, that'll be a big topic to talk about. So I want to start by giving a big, big shout out to Hplayer. Last night I was doing the Friday night jam, which was so much fun. I'm over here mad as hell at hot ass. As Anthony of VR365 call it, he called it hot ass instead of Hodis. Garuda Legends, what's up, Lincoln Clay? I am Blade from America. I still want to challenge you for that Wakanda Black Panther suit. Please don't hip toss me off the planet out of the suit. Every breath you take is mercy from me. So getting back to my big shout out to Garuda Legends. I'm sorry, Hplayer. I was doing the Friday night jam last night, and so in the middle of that show, he was in the comment section and said, "Check your Twitter after the show." So I said, "Okay." And I go check my Twitter, and I'm thinking that he's probably going to send me a link to a VR related article. And it's a PSN code. So I go put the code into the PSN redeem code section, and it was a $50 card. I was blown away when I seen that. Wow, $50. I can't thank you enough, my brother. And when I saw that, the first thing popped in my head was Blood and Truth, because I'm going to use it to pre-order Blood and Truth. I absolutely can't wait for that game. You said, "Damn, I missed the jam. I hope your Beat Saber playlist keeps growing." It will, you know, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit too, about the Friday night jam, because you know that I had so much fun with that last night. But I'll come back to that in a second. I just want to finish thanking Hplayer for the $50 PSN card. I can't thank him enough. And what makes me all the more appreciative of that is that, you know, my channel's not monetized. Um, I'm not looking to get the channel monetized. I just enjoy talking to all of you. Um, you know, I don't have enough subs to do the super chat thing, but I think I could still, you know, get ad revenue from YouTube for allowing ads to be in my streams. But I don't want that because I don't want to be in a position where I have to watch what I say to avoid violating the terms of the, you know, ad revenue agreement, whatever that might be. So I just want to be able to say whatever I want to say. Um, and and I enjoy interacting with all of you. So I'm not looking to monetize my channel. So for someone to send me $50 like that out of the goodness of their heart, I can't say enough about, you know, how appreciative I am of that. So big shout out to Hplayer. I really appreciate that. And And again, I'm going to use it to buy Blood and Truth. And Blood and Truth comes out on the 28th. And I've taken that day off. That is the day after Memorial Day. So I'm going to end up having a 4 or 5 day weekend. And so when the game unlocks at midnight, I'll be able to play it in comfort, knowing that I don't have to get up the next morning. You said that Beat Saber streams with you and Fatal Sharad did was fire as fuck. Hey, then you need to go check out the Friday Night Jam that I did last night. That was much better because I had the webcam over in the corner so you could see me dance as I'm playing the songs. Give me a second here. Excuse me. Where are we? Copy. There you go, Garuda. There's the link to the Friday Night Jam that I did last night. As I said, I had a webcam over in the corner so you can see me dance as I'm playing Beat Saber. At times I look stupid, but at times I was in the groove. At times I was moving. That was so much fun. So I guess while we're on the subject of the Friday Night Jam, I had the time of my life last night. That was so fun. All those songs gives Beat Saber so much replay value. Eric, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. You know, those songs give Beat Saber so much replay value. In last night, that show was only supposed to go about an hour, but I was having so much fun that the show went on for about 2 hours. And then when I finally shut it down, it was because I was absolutely tired. I just didn't have any gas left in the tank. I was starting to lose concentration, and I was starting to like really miss songs to the point where I was like, couldn't even complete some of them. So, but I had so much fun with that I want to make this a weekly thing. I want to do this every Friday. The only thing that I have to warn everybody about on the Friday Night Jams is that a lot of those songs are copywritten, and so I stand the risk of getting my videos blocked whenever I do that. But you can still catch it live. That's the best way to be assured that you'll be able to see it, is to catch it live, because nothing happens while I'm doing it live. But once it's over, the Beat Saber about to make you have them Hercules hands. Hey, I got small hands, to tell you the truth, because I can't even palm a basketball. As far as that goes, I'm not even that tall. I'm still 5'9", about 210 pounds. Not only that, I burned a shitload of calories last night off of the Friday Night Jam. But getting back to this video blocking thing, to give you a quick, history of that. The first stream I did where I did custom songs, I did it on Sunday, and that video was blocked, after I got done with it. Immediately after I got done streaming that video, I got a message from, Gmail saying that the video was blocked due to copyright claims. There was the song Take On Me by the group Aha. It was a song that was a hit back in the early 80s. If I'm not mistaken. And that video was blocked worldwide, meaning no one could see it. And a couple days later, I did another stream of custom songs. And it took about 3 days before I got a message from Google, from Gmail, that video was blocked also, but it was blocked in some countries, meaning that some countries wouldn't be able to view it. And the song that got me blocked on that one was 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. I haven't had a chance to look into the email yet, so I don't know what countries got blocked. And so now you have the situation last night where I did the Friday Night Jam. Probably about a couple hours after I did the Friday Night Jam, I got a letter. I got another message from Gmail saying that video was blocked. But this time it was the song Black and Yellow. And this time it listed the countries that video was blocked in, and it was over in Asian countries, in Asian parts, like Hong Kong, Singapore, those kind of countries. So I'm mostly concerned that it didn't get blocked, in Europe, in North America. So you guys will be able to catch the replay on that. But again, be warned when I do these Friday night jams that, with me always trying to add music to the library, any song could get the video blocked. So yeah, they blocked Black and Yellow, but it's only blocked over in Asian countries. So so you can go back and catch the replay of it. That was the link that I put in the chat a little while, just a few minutes ago. That's the link to watch the replay. See, I think Garuda Legends, I think there's a difference between a copyright strike and a copyright claim. I think if you get a copyright strike, then yeah, you get that strike, and that's going to lead to you getting suspended. But if you get a copyright claim, it's just telling me that the video is being blocked. So 1 second here. Let me go to the Creator Studio. And I haven't gotten any kind of emails, and I'm checking the Creator Studio that I don't got any kind of messages or notifications that I call copyright strikes. So if all they're going to do is block the videos, then I'll just go ahead and keep going with it. You just like I said, the best bet to catch it is to catch it live when I do it live, and I will keep everybody informed through Twitter when I plan to do it. Right now, I still plan to do it at Friday at I did this one at 11 o'clock because my intentions were to move on from the Roundtable podcast and jump straight over there. But the Roundtable got off to a late start last night. So I wasn't able to join the Roundtable because I had to get everything together for the Friday Night Jam. I had to hook up the webcam, get it positioned correctly, all that kind of stuff. Go through my library and see what songs I was going to play. I had a wedding called Just the Way You Are, and I don't listen to that song now because it reminds me of my wedding day. Yeah, well, that's one thing about music, Dawn. It'll put you in a mood. It can lift you up. It can bring you down depending on what you're listening to. Music is a powerful tool. So with that being said, as far as the Friday Night Jam goes, I had a ball with that. I'm going to have to look for a different time slot other than the 11 p.m. because I know that was pretty late on the East Coast, and I know over in Europe they were sleeping. So I want to move it back to 10 o'clock, but I don't want to be in a situation where I'm only hanging around the Roundtable podcast for about an hour and then I'm taking off. That's something that I'll have to think about, and whatever I end up doing, I will inform the Roundtable podcast what my plans are, whether it overlaps them or not. So I'll try to come up. I'm definitely going to do the Friday Night Jam again next Friday and try to come up with a better time. So it works for everybody to get a chance to see it, because that was a lot of fun. And hold on, what we got here? Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Pyle, for the retweet. So I think I will have to tweet out the Friday Night Jam. You said you seen all this news on Twitter, and Twitter's been on fire. I really don't know what's going on with Twitter, to tell you the truth. As far as the latest news goes. Hmm. Okay, so let me go ahead and get to my notes, and let's get going on live from Wakanda the week that was. Talking about why Xbox really wants to merge support gaming. What is up? I'll get to that. I guess you know, what's I guess I'll talk about the two big elephants in the room. The first one being that Microsoft and Sony have come together on an agreement, and the reason why I decided to come back to revisit that is initially, hey dog, what's up? Initially, all these YouTube's videos going around about this partnership with Microsoft. I I had to really stop and think about it, and I'm really mad at myself that I did not catch this the minute I saw these videos. That it took me a day or two of really having to sit down and sort this shit out and think about it before I came to this conclusion that you've seen videos going around that says Microsoft and Sony, form cloud gaming partnership. Uh, Microsoft, Sony reaches a cloud gaming deal. Um, I do not like the title of that shit because what it makes it sound like Sony came to Microsoft um, to rent out their xCloud servers, their Azure servers, and Microsoft's not getting anything back. So it makes it sound like Sony was the one who bent the knee and came to Microsoft. When I'm curious as to who came to who first. I'll give my opinions on who I think came to who first. But first things first, I don't, I do not see this as a cloud gaming deal. I see this as a deal, and that's it, because both of them are getting something out of this. Microsoft is getting these image sensors and other hardware that Sony produces, whatever this technology is, and Sony's gonna rent Microsoft's, I guess, Azure servers, if I'm wording this correctly. And if that's the case, in my opinion, Microsoft is getting more out of this than Sony is. Garuda, you said the X Thoughts been trying to break my four pony legs. They forgot Daddy Phil been on his knee hard body for crossplay. True that. Um, So again, I don't see this as a cloud gaming deal. I see this as a deal. And again, both of them are getting something out of this, and I feel like Microsoft is getting more out of this than Sony. Because when you stop and look at it, I don't know. I haven't done any research into this shit about these image sensors and semiconductors and shit like that Sony's working on. Sony's has whatever you want to call it. But if But how many other people are producing image sensors and semiconductors? Yeah, Jemiah Dixon, that's what I was going to say. Everybody keeps forgetting these semiconductors and image servers, that sensors that Sony's giving to Microsoft. So the way I'm seeing it, Microsoft got more out of this deal than Sony, because Sony could have went to anybody. Sony could have took multiple routes to address these cloud gaming servers. I guess they have their own servers with this Gaikai shit that I'm not terribly familiar with, so I'm not going to act like I'm a pro on that. I am aware that they have them, and 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 I'm guessing that I'm under the assumption that Sony was looking to get better performance out of PlayStation Now. So I'm led to believe that they had several options in terms of this cloud gaming. They could have strengthened their own servers, which I understand it would have took a lot of money and it probably would have taken a lot of time. But they still could have gone multiple routes. They could have invested the money into the Gaikai and strengthened their own shit. They probably could have went to Amazon. They probably could have went to Google. Along with Microsoft. And so Sony had several options. These image sensors that Microsoft is getting from Sony, how many choices did Microsoft had in terms of going to people for these image sensors? How many options did Microsoft have? And even if they had more options, if there was other people out there producing these image sensors, how many of them, can do it better than Sony? So with that being said, I feel like Microsoft got the better end of this deal. Chad, notice there's only one game company trying to make deals and find reasons to stay viable, right? So so while we're on the subject, I got to give a shout out to Sick Humor because he called this shit a mile away. Because he was noticing how a lot of these publishers was basically pledging allegiance to Microsoft and praising Microsoft. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck are they praising Microsoft when Sony's kicking their ass? And when they making more, they got to be making more money off of Sony because their games are selling more on the PlayStation platform. So why would they be giving praise to Microsoft? And then, when Sick broke it down about those Azure servers, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I didn't want it to be true. But hey, as soon as this deal was announced, I said, damn, he nailed it right on the head. He hit it right on the head. So I still think that, now it's coming out that Microsoft and Sony has been working together for years. They've been working together for years, but you still have to keep in mind that I think Microsoft's ultimate goal was to try to destroy Sony. And if you can't destroy them, they haven't been able to destroy Sony outright, in terms of competing with them, because as far as I'm concerned, the Xbox has never beaten the PlayStation. Even during the 360 PS3 generation, the 360 had a massive head start. But as far as I'm concerned, they did not win any of those generations because the PS3 eventually caught up to them. And not only that, Sony did not have a red ring of death situation where, about 40 million PlayStations failed, where they would fix them and send them back out into the wild and then call it a sale. Sony didn't do that. So with that being said, Microsoft probably only really had half of the 360 sold that they counted. So as far as that goes, they have never beaten Sony, and Microsoft has been fixated. They've been fixated on destroying Sony. From some of the articles and shit like that I had read back in the days, I got the impression that Microsoft went out of their way to try to destroy Sony because Sony, rejected them on online play. I guess Microsoft approached Sony about online play during the PS2 generation, and Sony rejected them. So that prompted Microsoft to come out with the Xbox to try to not only compete with the PlayStation, but to try to destroy them. And I remember being told that Bill Gates came on the Oprah show when the Xbox first came out, and Bill Gates gave Xboxes to everybody in the audience, and he said that he came out with the Xbox because he felt like it was time for an American product to dominate the American market. Translation, they tired of Sony running shit over here. At least that was my interpretation back then. With that being said, being that Microsoft has been fixated on trying to destroy Sony, And I mean, even as recently as a few months ago, Microsoft they still couldn't praise their own product without trashing Sony. And that's basically been Microsoft's selling point this whole generation, is trying to say what they can do better than Sony, or what Sony doesn't have. They can't sell their own shit on their own merit. They have to, they got to throw dirt on Sony, or badmouth Sony to try to sell their own shit. And I thought when Sony gave in to the crossplay thing on the Fortnite shit, I thought that was a horrible move right there, because I felt like it was a dangerous move for a couple of reasons. One is, if you eventually let this crossplay shit grow to the point where it's across the board, that's detrimental to the growth of your own company, as far as I'm concerned, because if you allow crossplay across the board on every single game, you're going to lose a lot of PlayStation sales, because now there's going to be Xbox people that's going to feel like they don't need to get a PlayStation. So I felt like that was not a good move, especially with the bread and butter of Sony being the PlayStation brand, not TVs or anything like that anymore. Sony got most of their eggs in the PlayStation basket. So I think to give your competitor, as far as I'm concerned, your enemy, access to your prized possession was a dangerous move, because Microsoft is a ruthless company that, since they can't beat you from the outside, they might, I figured their next move is to try to act like friends and try to wreck you from the inside. I think Microsoft got one hand out shaking hands with you, but they actually got a knife behind their back waiting to stab the shit out of you. So I think this cloud shit deal that Sony made, I still think it's a dangerous move doing it with Microsoft. I don't have a problem with them wanting to go with another provider for the cloud, if they don't want to spend the money and time strengthening their own shit. But to go with Microsoft, a company that's been trying to destroy you for the last, 15, 20 years, I don't know if that was a good move. Christopher Hart, you said, notice when Phil Spencer spoke publicly about the console wars of fanboys, he then pointed out to the Sony fanboys as the source of the console wars. That's clearly them not working with us. And Maris, what's going on? Exactly. So I think, I swear to God, I just hope Sony covered all the bases, because I don't want to see another situation. I think Jemiah Dixon might have said it, that I don't want to see another situation like the Sega situation, where Sony ends up working with Microsoft, and then 3-4 years from now, the bottom falls out of the Sony corporation, and they end up having to shut, they end up having to do some liquidation shit, and they end up having to shut the PlayStation brand down. I don't think that'll happen because they're too big of a company, but I mean, Microsoft Xbox is not our fault. We're not making games. Blame Sony PlayStation. And another thing about this deal, I don't think this deal is about money. I think this deal is about favors. Now, everybody's talking about, well, not everybody, but see, I figured the Xbox were going to try to claim this as a victory and try to say Sony came to them, was like, hey, we want to talk to you about the X Cloud. We want to, we want to use these servers, or whatever the case may be. I think it was the opposite. You said Microsoft's not a game company. I think we need to remember that. And then Christopher Hart, you said blame those Sony games and gamers for everything. Guru the Legends, Microsoft been getting free meals with no games via XDOT and not putting out them bums. No Xbox VR, no Xbox exclusive, no Xbox handheld. But I did say this on the on Craig Harris's Porch Light podcast, that Microsoft is getting VR money. They're just getting it behind the scenes, because Microsoft owns the mixed reality technology. They design the headsets and sent them out to manufacturers. So hence you have headsets like the Samsung Odyssey, and I think possibly the HP Reverb that were built off the designs of Microsoft's, headset, mixed reality headset. So Microsoft is getting VR money. They just they ain't giving the Xbox people shit. So that tells you how much, Xbox people mean. That they going out into the, out into the PC world, out into the real world, and getting VR money that way, but not giving the Xbox people shit. Meta on Roundtable Podcast said Sony went to Xbox. I don't believe that. I believe that I think that I'm sure these companies know what each other's doing. I'm sure both companies have spies working for the other company. I'm sure Sony's got spies working at Microsoft, and Microsoft's got spies, working at Sony, and vice versa. Said, yeah, Microsoft is getting VR money, and Xbox fans still don't have VR. Yeah, that's messed up. Microsoft is getting behind the scenes money off of VR. So, and I didn't realize that until only like a month ago. Now I heard Microsoft's mixed reality store is barren as fuck. I heard shit ain't in there. Just some boring ass games where you just like inside an apartment or something like that, just rearranging shit. So here's what I think happened. Like I said, I'm not on the inside. This is just my thought on the outside. I think that Sony was either getting ready to strengthen their own servers. I think they were getting ready to strengthen this Gaikai server, or I think they might have been talking to Amazon or Google about possibly renting servers from them. And then I think Microsoft might have found out about it and was like, whoa, hold on. Listen to me. Hear me out. I mean, this is probably Microsoft talking to Sony. This is my belief. They probably told Sony, look, hear me out. I know that we've been competing with each other, and I know that we've dabbled with working each other, but for the most part, we've been competitors, and fierce competitors at times. But we are going in a different direction, so we are no longer competitors. The console landscape is yours. We're done with consoles. We're moving to the cloud gaming direction. So being that we are not really competitors anymore, listen to the proposition that I have for you, because I think I have an agreement that works out for both of us. Now, look, I understand that you have been shopping around for servers, talking to Google, Amazon about renting servers from them. And we, could I interest you in, talking to us about renting servers? And I'm sure we can work out a deal. You have some technologies that we're interested in, with image sensors, semiconductors and stuff. So, we're a hardware company. We're a software company. You're a hardware company. We can work this out. We can help each other, and, I kind of think that Microsoft might have came to Sony like that, because I think that Microsoft might have been trying to kill two birds with one stone, that they are acquiring the hardware they need from Sony to strengthen their weaknesses. And I think it might put them in a situation to try to get ready to fight Google, because I think it's Microsoft is worried about Google more than Sony. And everybody act like Sony's, some of these people act like Sony was worried about Google and they went to Microsoft for help. I think it was the other way around. I think Microsoft's worried about Google and they went to Sony for help. They killed two birds with one stone. They getting the hardware they need for whatever they're for whatever they need it for. And if this hardware that they need is going towards the X Cloud, then it'll help them. My guess is to get ready to fight Google. So I do not believe for 1 minute that Sony went to Google. Went to Microsoft. I'm sorry. I do not believe for 1 minute that Sony went to Microsoft. So my bottom line is, my belief is that if Sony was talking to Google or Amazon, that Microsoft came in and undercut them. You said Garuda X Thoughts did not like the one and done games. Um, Top Dog, you said, yep, Microsoft invented the inside outside tech, and both Vive and Oculus use it. See, they getting that VR money. And I hate, speaking of the inside out technology, I'll get to it, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and get an Oculus Rift S. But I'll get to that later. So that's what I think happened with the Sony Microsoft deal. And to me, this is not a deal about money. I think it is a deal about favors, about them helping each other out. And so I think that because they're going to be helping each other out, I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see that transfer over to the gaming landscape. I think you're going to see. Okay, so for instance, if Sony comes out with something and Microsoft comes over the top of them and pulls their normal tactic and says that, our shit is better than Sony's, to me, I do not see that as a credible council war tactic, because now you two are working together. Thomas Hand said, I'm a bit tempted by the Oculus Rift, by the Oculus S. Yeah, Thomas Hand, I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to get to that pretty soon and talk about why I think I'm going to go ahead and get an Oculus Rift S. And I think Tuesday is Quest Day. I plan to get to that as well. What time we got? I've got about an hour because I got to take off here to go pick up my son. So, so I need to go ahead and close the book on that Sony Microsoft thing. Again, I think this is a deal of favors, and they're working together now. So I don't think you're going to see them sniping each other as much anymore and making a console war thing out of this, unless they do some boxing hype thing, because you see how some boxers are actually friends, but they get ready to have a mega fight, and then they act like they don't like each other to build up hype to get more and more people interested in the shit. And then after the fight is over, you find out, it was all hype just to build up the fight, and they actually still good friends. I think you might end up having a situation like that, where I think Microsoft and Sony, now that they're working together behind closed doors, they probably said, look, we got to keep this console war thing going to keep people entrenched in it, to keep people invested in it. So, yeah, we can still take lighthearted jabs at each other in order to keep this fan base going, in order to keep people invested in our ecosystems. So now the next time Microsoft comes out and bashes Sony, I'm going to feel like they really don't mean it. They're just saying it to try to hype shit up, to keep people coming in. Because a lot of these so-called hardcore Xbox people are hardcore to me, not because they think the Xbox is a tremendous device or the Xbox has amazing games. They're hardcore because because they're the underdog and wants to see Microsoft win. And so the hardcore Xbots, the X-Thoughts, you will always keep them invested in the ecosystem as long as you keep making them think that the ultimate goal is to beat Sony. But now, even Sony, if they throw dirt on Microsoft, I'm going to be looking at them with a raised eyebrow like, okay, y'all partners now. I think this is a little bit of, WWE shit, so. JD Max, you said the merger is definitely going to help with PSVR 2 development. I'm not so sure, because the way I'm seeing it, I feel like Sony don't need them on VR development, because the PSVR 2 that's coming out, Sony's actually doing the same thing that Microsoft did. They licensed the design of the PSVR 2 over to Lenovo. to allow them to make their own headset. And they've already, I think it's already been implemented with the Rift S, because it has a Halo headband, a lot like the current PSVR. So I'm led to believe that they probably, Oculus probably taken technologies from both the PSVR 2 as well as mixed reality to come up with the Oculus Rift 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if both Sony and Microsoft is getting paid off the development of the Oculus Rift S. So yeah, I do admit that as much as I can't stand Microsoft, maybe Sony and Microsoft have the ability to be the 1-2 punch in gaming, depending on how much partners they want to be. But I still think Microsoft is a greedy, shysty company. Fuck them. So now that we got one of the elephants out of the room, let's move on to the other elephant in the room, and that is that the shit, some more shit that the Epic Store has been pulling. I guess there's a game called The Outer Wilds that is going to be exclusive to the Epic Store, and I guess what's making that fucked up is that they had a Kickstarter for this game. The developers had a Kickstarter for this Outer Wilds game, and they started this Kickstarter with the promise that anyone that backs them would get a copy of the game on Steam. Now here comes Epic, I think, offered them like $2 million, and now the game is going to the Epic Store exclusively. And so that's got backers pissed. So a lot of people are upset about this shit. And I guess this isn't the first time that Epic did that, where they took a game that was crowd-funded and swiped it, basically swiped it from Steam to bring it, to their platform. So that's, wow, Epic is really shaking up the PC world with the shit they doing, a lot of PC people are hot. To me, even though I have an Alienware PC, the shit that Epic is doing right now does not affect me because they haven't pulled this shit on the VR format yet. I guess as of right now, once they start pulling that shit on the VR format, then I will be concerned about it. Because I heard about the Epic Store, having spyware in their shit. I've heard about their launchers making other launchers buggy and that kind of shit. So with that being said, there's no reason for me to have the Epic Store on my PC at the moment until they start getting some VR titles that I'm interested in. I have no reason to want to put the Epic Store on my PC. So that's that on that situation. McCoy, is anyone getting Blood and Truth for PSVR? Yes, I am getting Blood and Truth for PSVR. Not only that, I will be streaming it at midnight when it unlocks because I do not have to work that next day. So I plan to be up all night playing that game. I'm absolutely excited. That game looks like it's action-packed. I mean, this is from a campaign standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, this could be bigger than Lone Echo. From a storytelling standpoint and from a graphical standpoint, Lone Echo is probably the best VR game that I've ever played. It's definitely the best looking VR game that I've ever played. I think the graphics are phenomenal. You said PC dudes are more port beggars than Xbox. And boy, J-Tech be staying on their damn head about that shit. Every other video he put out, he called them PC port beggars. He be on their head. I'm actually, the way J-Tech be butting heads with PC dudes, you think he got more of an issue with PC dudes than Xbox dudes. Um, you said it's definitely getting a lot of hype. I hope Blood and Truth delivers. I think it will deliver. Um, now as far as the movements goes, it's going to be some point and click movements on Blood and Truth. Similar to Bravo Team in the Planet of the Apes game. Now the Bravo Team, the point and click movement on Bravo Team to me was awful because when you're moving from point to point, you're still getting shot and still getting hit. And there's nothing you can do. You can't retaliate while you're hitting. In the case of the Planet of the Apes game, the movement, you move from point to point, but the move is so quick that you get from point to point before you get shot. So I guess the movement system on Blood and Truth is going to be, a click and point move to move from point to point, from what I'm understanding. But I believe, I know you're still going to be able to shoot at the enemy while you're still moving from point to point. So that's definitely going to add that's definitely going to add some advantages to the mechanics, and I think it's even going to add a little bit of action to it. And that scene where that plane was on fire, I can't wait to see what that looks like in VR when you see the size of an actual plane actually on fire, only a few feet above your head. I can't wait. Now, I promise you, I am going to finish Blood and Truth. I wanted to finish Days Gone, but I'd say two things killed me with that game. One, it was a flat screen game. It's an amazing game as far as I'm concerned. Great graphics, as far as the dialogue goes, I thought it was okay. There was times where it sounded like it was in the sound booth, but I thought it was okay for the most part. But the other thing that killed Days Gone for me was that I got caught up watching Sick Humor streams. No fault of his. Because if there's a game out there that I'm curious about the story, but I don't want to play the game, I'll go on YouTube and watch someone else's stream. In the case of Days Gone, it was a game that I wanted to play, but I ended up getting drawn into Sick Humor streams. And now I didn't watch it. I didn't watch his streams all the way to the end, so I don't know how the game ends. Because I had to make it a point to cut myself off from his streams so I don't see the ending. So whenever I do decide to come back to the game, it's there. And the other thing was I wanted to try to have this game finished before Blood and Truth came out, but that's not the case. But I promise you, I am going to finish Blood and Truth. I don't care what else happens with any other upcoming games. I am going to finish Blood and Truth because this is a game that I have been looking forward to from the moment that it came out. And it was like, on the PlayStation Worlds game when London Heist, everybody loved London Heist. They said it was too short. Here it is. They're giving us the sequel to London Heist. It's finally coming. We're only days away from it. I am going to finish this game. I am looking forward to it. I absolutely cannot wait. So I saw you back there, Jemiah Dixon. You said, how is PC port begging? I got no answer for that because I'm pretty much out of that. I'm just enjoying what I enjoy. On the PC aspect of it, yeah, Epic is shaking up the PC landscape with their moves. I'm not going to use the word egregious, but I think the biggest thing that's fucked up about the moves that Epic is making is that the revenue split that they are offering to publishers. Epic made it sound like that was designed for everybody to benefit from it. That the publishers get a bigger cut of the revenue, and they pass the savings on to gamers, which hasn't been the case. You said, Jemiah, you said, don't worry about to smack these council dudes soon enough. What's up, Blue? How you doing, man? What's going on, Cyber Dragon? What's good with you, Christopher Hart? I think I did say what's up to you. But what's going on, man? So we got the Epic thing out of the way. So let's I guess the rest of the things that I've got to talk about is mostly VR related shit. Epic just had a sale. I got Control for $49.99. Okay. Speaking of which, I got a email from Nvidia that I got an award from them, that I got a copy, that I get a free copy of Shadow of Mordor, that I got 14 days to claim it. I got to go to the GeForce. I have to sign into my GeForce account. See, the thing about that GeForce bullshit is that I went to this site, I created an account, I put in the codes, the client, to claim the games that I was supposed to get, the Division 2, and it redirected me. Well, it didn't redirect me. Some more shit popped up saying that I had to get the GeForce verification downloader or some bullshit like that. And then it kept telling me that it wasn't verified. It wasn't verified. It wasn't verified. So I'm sick of this bullshit where you get these codes for free games and then you have to keep going through all these extra steps. And then, like, when you get 3/4 of the way through the registration process, they're telling you that they can't process it, or registration is invalid, code is invalid, any kind of bullshit to stop you from getting the game, to force you to pay for it if you want the shit bad enough. So fuck all that shit, you know. Don't give me no free shit if you're gonna make me jump through flaming hoops and swim through piranhas to try to get the shit. Christopher Hart, it's almost no point in me claiming this game because I'm not going to play it. You said once you finish Shadow of Mordor, you have to play Shadow of War. First of all, I have Shadow of Mordor on both the Xbox and the PlayStation, because I bought it for like $7 on the PlayStation. If I get it on the PC, I would just be getting it so I could have the best version of that game, which is not that important to me. You know, and also keep in mind that, you know, I have a 1 terabyte hard drive on the Alienware PC. So I don't have a lot of space to work with. The only reason why the shit is not used up yet is because I'm putting VR games on there. There's usually anywhere from 1 to 5 gigs versus AAA flat screen games, which, you know, around 50. Am I able to give it to somebody, Cyber Dragon? I will look into it. If it allows me to give it to someone, I'll give it to you. Said I had to call Nvidia direct to get the codes for my triple threat. See, I saw that free Shadow of Mordor nonsense from GeForce. Let's see. Like I said, I think it, you know, I don't know what the purpose of this shit is, you know. Jemiah says you can't give it away, Cyber Dragon. Then it's just something that I'm going to end up letting get away, because if I was that interested in playing Shadow of Mordor, I would have already played it. Because again, I got it on the Xbox and I got it on the PlayStation. You said it's not nonsense, it's free. You just have to run the game through this service. I mean, like, I gave up on it because it made me, you know, I had reached the point where I kept hitting a brick wall when I was trying to redeem my Division game. It kept telling me, you know, something about the GeForce downloader or some shit like that was unable to download the game, or unable to verify the code, whatever the shit may be. So I just said, fuck it. You know, I wasn't interested in the Division to begin with anyway. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't raise a big stink about it, because I wasn't interested in the Division, because I'm just not interested in looter shooters. To me, I think, you know, looter shooters are just a new way of saying co-op. The Division is a co-op game. To me, co-op is a mode, not a genre. It's a mode and not a genre. He said, yeah, the codes on the receipt always print the O and the 0 wrong. Yeah, pretty much. See, but when I put the code in, it accepted the code, but it was like, okay, now you have to download the GeForce verification download or some bullshit like that. So it's like it kept making me go through these extra steps, and then I finally got to the point where it was like it wouldn't verify the shit. So I was fuck it, I'm done with it. I really don't give a fuck, because all I was gonna do, even if I would have been able to redeem get the Division 2 on PC, all I was gonna do was look at it for 5 minutes to see what the graphics was like, and then I was probably gonna delete it from my computer. I was not gonna play it again. So I really don't give a fuck about that shit. Now, if they offer me a free VR game, a game like Lone Echo, and I go to redeem it and I can't get the shit, then yeah, I'm gonna be hot. I'm gonna be pissed off. So now we could let me see what do I got? Because pretty much from here, it's pretty much VR from here on out, the stuff that I got to talk about. Because we got a big day coming up here on the 21st. Everybody in the VR landscape is calling it that HOTAS was still $80. Hey Craig, that HOTAS flight stick. I bought that stick right when Ace Combat came out, and I bought that stick at the time for about 70. I think it was $75 or some shit like that. And then 2 weeks later, it turned up on sale for like $60. Then that's the stick and the throttle for $60. And I wanted to inform you about it, but you're the type of person that you don't exactly move when something's on sale. So I didn't inform you of it because I didn't know if you would jump on it. So okay, so let's get on to my other notes, and that is that let's see here, Zero Caliber. It is this is coming from I think this is coming from Polish Paul, that Zero Caliber is still confirmed for PSVR, but I'm wondering about how is it going to be different from the PC version, because of I'm just wondering how the Move controllers are going to work with this. Top Dog, have I played Sorrento VR yet? I was highly interested in that game, Top Dog, but when I read some of the user reviews, like journalist reviews, I don't give a fuck about journalist reviews. Don't listen to them. But if you go to a game on Steam, yes, user reviews is a helpful tool. And the reason why I didn't pick the game up is because a lot of the reviews complained about the game being like really buggy. And that is one of the bad things about Steam, is they do let publishers and developers put games on Steam that's in early access. So some of these games are like seriously broken on Steam. JD Max, you said you saw the trailer for virtual reality. Some people are saying that they're saying some good things about it, but it's something that I'm just gonna have to look into. And so, about the Zero Caliber thing, as of right now, the Oculus Rift touch controllers are the preferred controllers of most of the VR community. So when Zero Caliber gets moved over to the PlayStation VR, I'm wondering how they're going to make this shit work with the Move controllers. So we'll see, but it is still good news to know that it is coming to the PlayStation VR. It is a co-op game. It is a shooter game, and it is a co-op game. My son does like it. It is, and it has some features from other that makes it different from other first-person shooter games in VR, because you have the ability to sort of customize the gun while you're on the go. You can come up to a table that's got accessories laying on it, scopes, silencers, and stuff like that, and you can put it on the gun right there while you're still in game, and not have to go to a pause menu and change a loadout or anything like that. You just grab the scope right off the table and put it on your gun, and that's it. So that's one of the things that makes that game a little bit different. You said it's supposed to come to PSVR, but hopefully it's fixed by now. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Top Dog. I have it. Already have it. I think I bought it through Steam. So that's one game where I don't think it's going to make any sense for me to buy it a second time. Unless the only way I'll buy it for the PSVR is if my son wants me to get it so we can play together. That way, I can be on the PlayStation VR and he can be on Oculus. But I guess before I got to hold my horses there, I got to pump the brakes there. Before I even think about doing something like that, I guess I got to make sure that the game is going to be crossplay, like Space Junkies. That game is crossplay. So, y'all ready for a laugh now? Battle Wake. This game looks to be a VR version of Sea of Thieves, but it has a fully functional Kraken. The Kraken has a head and it has the tentacles sticking out of the water, snatching ships and stuff like that. So when an indie game can make a Kraken better than a so-called AAA publisher or a AAA developer, that's sad. When an indie developer can come in and do a better version of the Kraken than a so-called AAA developer. But yes, I am interested in this Battle Wake game. You said it still has a June 7th release. Okay, we'll have to see about that. But I am interested in this Battle Wake game. Maybe, I think the Kraken and the VR aspect of it, along with a couple of other things that I've seen, makes it look like a pretty attractive game. And not only that, the game is probably going to cost somewhere between $20 and $30 versus the so-called $60 they were charging for Sea of Thieves. So, JD Max, I take it that you are into VR. So the next bit of news, I don't know. It may interest some of you, but The Walking Dead Onslaught is slated for fall of 2019, coming to VR. So I've never watched The Walking Dead, but I know that it is a popular show. I don't have to watch something to know that it's popular. The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, I know The Sopranos was pretty hot back in the days, even though I never watched that. So The Walking Dead, a VR game, coming to VR this fall. I would like to think that if that's a game that would come to the PlayStation VR platform, it could interest a few people. I think it is coming. I think it is coming to PlayStation VR because, again, I think I got this little bit of information from Polish Paul. Watching one of his videos. Yes, sir. I was here when you brought Gamertag VR on for a chat. Okay, cool. All right, now I remember you. I'm sorry. The Walking Dead is coming this fall, and I do believe it's coming to PlayStation VR. Because again, I think I saw this on Polish Paul VR on his video. So that's another game. Maybe I'll get it, maybe not. And then let me see here. The next bit of news is that the move support for Space Junkies is live. I have tried it. Unfortunately, the PlayStation still will not let me stream Space Junkies from the PlayStation. So whenever I want to stream it, I have to do it from my PC on Oculus. But it's cool. You said I do mostly sim racing now, but I had PSVR since day one. I mean, as far as sim racing goes, I absolutely can't wait for next generation. That is probably the game that I'm looking forward to the most. Next generation is GT7. when we'll be able to, I'd like to think that we are going to be able to have VR multiplayer where we'll be able to race in VR against live people. That is what I'm waiting for, because even as powerful as these PCs are, we don't have a lot of that on the PC landscape. You certainly can't do it and stream it. I tried to do a race in VR on Project Cars 2. I tried to do a race in VR, a multiplayer race, and I tried to stream it, and my computer crashed. So it's just not there yet. So yeah, so GT7 when that comes out, that's gonna. I absolutely can't wait for that. I hope that is a, even if it doesn't come out on the PSVR, I hope it's a launch game with the PS5 when it launches, and I hope it allows us to still use our current PSVR headsets to play the game until we get the new PlayStation VR headset. So yeah, I see that about the iRacing. I've heard good things about iRacing, and I want to play it in VR. But two things I'm dealing with that situation is, one is I don't want to pay the subscription that I hear is a monthly subscription for that game. I don't want to pay it. And the other thing that I'm dealing with is that I still have not been able to get my Thrustmaster racing wheel to work on my PC. I've tried a number of different things. I still can't get it to work yet. The PC recognizes that the wheel is there, but when I fire up one of these games, Project Cars 2 or a set of Corsa Competition, I can't calibrate the wheel. It's just not working on these racing games. So that's another reason why I don't want to buy any more racing games until I figure out how to get my racing wheel to work on this PC. Support gaming, definitely going to look more into on the Walking Dead VR. Sounds interesting how they're going to implement the TV show in the VR. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. We'll see what happens as we draw closer to that. And these next two topics kind of coincide with each other. May 21st, we have Operation Nightfall for Firewall coming May 21st. I guess it's going to cost $10 for this DLC. I think that's somewhat of a mistake. What I'm hoping that the maps are still free, and the $10 that they are charging is for the operator and the perks and whatever else comes with it. Because if they're making you pay $10 for the operator as well as the maps that they're supposed to be coming out with, then that's going to separate the Firewall community and going to fuck everything up. And now we're going to have Sony pulling some dumb EA shit, separating the community through DLC. So if you want to charge for the operators and the skill set that she comes with, that's fine, because I guess the operator is Rudy, and I guess her skill is that she steals XP from dead bodies, which would be huge for me because I'm trying to get to a level 50 as soon as possible so I can get that door blocker. But with Firewall, the higher you get in terms of levels, the longer the grind becomes to get to the next level. So I think I'm currently at level 36, and I've gotten high enough on Firewall that it takes forever to get to the next level. It's almost like you got to live on the fucking game to level up. So to get this contractor Ruby, where she steals XP off of dead bodies, that's going to be huge to help me get to level 50. So, but again, if they're going to charge people for these, if this paid DLC, if the maps are included in this paid DLC, again, they're going to separate the communities. It's going to piss a lot of people off. And that would actually be an egregious act by First Contact Entertainment as well as Sony. I hope they do not do that shit. Let the maps be free. You can charge for everything else. Keep this community together. Because I think the Operation Nightfall DLC is what Firewall needs. It's that shot in the arm the game needs to draw people back into this game, to reignite interest in this game. And the last thing they need to do is turn people off where they find out they have to pay for the maps. And so, um, something that I forgot to mention, May 21st. Well, I guess I can mention it. May 21st is Quest Day. No. Let me go back. Let me back up. Operation Nightfall. Before I go on to the Quest Day thing, let me go back and say that the Operation Nightfall DLC coming on May 21st is a mistake. This DLC should be coming the next day on the 22nd, because on the 21st, Five Nights at Freddy's in VR is supposed to come out, but that's been Polish Paul says that's been delayed. I guess it's been pushed back a week, which I think is a smart move, because of the Operation Nightfall DLC coming out, as well as Everybody's Golf coming out on May 21st. I think they need to push that Operation Nightfall DLC back one day to the 22nd, so that will entice people to buy Everybody's Golf. If you put with the two of those coming out on the same day, you got $30 for Everybody's Golf and $10 for the Operation Nightfall DLC. Some people are not going to want to drop the whole $40 for that. I think in order to give Everybody's Golf room to breathe and to try to generate some sales, they need to push that Operation Nightfall back a few days, because I think some people would, when they get this Operation Nightfall DLC, some of them are going to end up liking it so much they're going to totally forget about Everybody's Golf. So I think that's not and both of these games are Sony exclusives. So I think Sony's stepping on their own feet by putting both of them on the same day. They need to move one of them out. And I think they should move Operation DLC back a day or two, because Everybody's Golf is a new game to VR. So it's not a second iteration of a successful franchise. It's a new game. And so they need to give this game time to grow, time to room to breathe. And I was interested in Everybody's Golf, and I was going to pick it up day one, but I'm not going to pick it up day one now that it's been confirmed that it does not have multiplayer. With that being said, I'm probably going to wait until the game goes on sale or until they get multiplayer support. Then I'll pick it up, but I'm not picking this game up day one, which is unfortunate, because I really wanted to pick this game up day one. So that's not to say that I won't, because again, shout out to Hplayer with him sending me the $50 PSN cards. Wow, I'll be able to get Blood and Truth and the Operation Nightfall DLC. I'll be able to pick both of those up. Big shout out to Hplayer. I can't say enough about that. I'm so appreciative of it. I really appreciate that. So now I think Five Nights at Freddy's, they pushed that back. I think that was a smart move. There was too much shit. There's way too much shit going on the 21st for Five Nights Freddy's to have a realistic chance to generate some sales, because you have on the PlayStation side, you have the Operation Nightfall DLC coming out. You have Everybody's Golf coming out on that day. Over on the other side, you have the Oculus Rift S and the Oculus Quest also coming out on May 21st, along with Vader Immortal that's going to be available for the Oculus Quest on the 21st. I believe Dead and Buried 2 is also going to be available on the 21st. And what other game that they mentioned was going to be available on the 21st? Dance Central, whatever that shit is. I think that's supposed to be available on the 21st. So I think there's going to be a number of games available on the 21st on the Oculus Quest. That's just way too much shit for Five Nights at Freddy's to have to deal with. A lot of shit going on. Like May 21st, as far as I'm concerned, could be the biggest day in VR history, with the release of Oculus Quest, the Oculus Rift S, and all the games that's supposed to be coming out on the 21st. So with that being said, on the 21st, that day is marked on my calendar, because I'm not really interested in the Oculus Quest, but when the demo's there, when is the No Man's Sky update going live? I have no idea, Christopher Hart. Truth be told, with Blood and Truth being around the corner, I don't know. You know, I guess I want to get through Blood and Truth first before I worry about the No Man's Sky update. You know, but don't get me wrong, it's on my radar because I have No Man's Sky on both. I have it both on PC and the PS4. And I bought it specifically for those VR updates. So I am looking forward to it, but I want to get through Blood and Truth first. So for them to move Five Nights at Freddy's in VR, for them to push that back a week or so, I think that was a smart move because that game would have just got swallowed up alive with all the other shit that's coming out. The Persistence now has a flat screen mode update. Yeah, I think they're calling it the Persistence something packed or some shit like that. I don't mind, you know, that it's getting a flat screen update. You know, I do have the Persistence. I caught it on sale for about $20. It was one of those games that had me interested, but I didn't want to pay. I didn't want to pay $30 on it. The game did go on sale a couple of times, and so the one time it went on sale for about $15. I went ahead and caught it. I did play a few minutes of it. Eventually, I will come back to it, and I would probably say with the Persistence, one of the things that was really fucking me up with not being able to play that game is that I was too wrapped up in Lone Echo. You know, that game really had me you know, entrenched, and you know, it really pulled me in. So, but now I guess getting to the last thing that I wanted to talk about. I am seriously looking at getting the Oculus Rift S. Um, as far as these new headsets that are coming out, it's probably going to be the best bang for the buck in terms of performance. No Man's Sky 50% off on Steam, by the way. Yeah, I think when I bought it for $30 on Steam. And at the time that I paid the $30 for it, my thinking was get it then, because as we get closer to this VR update, I think people might jack up the price of the game. Yeah, as we draw closer to the VR update, you might see you might see retailers like Walmart or whoever, you know, jack the game up from $20 to $30. So, lastly, talking about while I'm thinking about getting the Oculus Rift S, again, I flat out, I seen two videos from Terrell Wood. He's a VR enthusiast. I think he's more of a tech guy than he is a VR enthusiast. He put out a couple of videos making comparison videos. He put a camera up to the lens of several headsets. He did the first comparison video he did. He compared the standard Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and the Oculus Rift S. Long story short, the Oculus Rift S had the sharper picture. It had the best picture out of them. It has a 1440 resolution, whereas the standard Oculus Rift and HTC Vive have a 1200 resolution. When he did these comparison videos, clearly the Oculus Rift S was the best looking one. The standard Oculus Rift was the worst looking one. Now, the HTC Vive, the picture on the HTC Vive looked a little bit better than the standard Oculus Rift S, but you could see all the pixels. You could see the individual pixels and the shit. I guess that's that screen door effect that they're talking about. And the shit was awful, as far as I'm concerned. And I think the HTC Vive was noticeably brighter compared to the two Rift headsets. JD Max, yeah, when it came to looking in the horizon, Rift Rift S won that clearly, and that's what I'm looking for. All these VR headsets are sharp when you're up close on something. It's the background that I need to be clear, and I need it to be clear for racing games because the further I can see into the distance, the more I'll be prepared for a corner that's coming up. And that was the big problem with Drive Club VR, is that you could not see shit in the distance because of how blurry it was. Anthony of VR 365 said it best. He said it looks like somebody took Vaseline and wiped it on the screen, and that's what the background looked like. I need clarity because racing games are probably, I love racing games. And the more immersive the game is, what GPU you run on. My computer, I have an Alienware computer. It's an Aurora R, it's a R7 or R8. I think it might be an R8. It has a RTX 2070. The CPU is a Intel i5, I think 9600X, which can be overclocked. So I think I got a decent computer. They should bring Crash Team Racing to VR. You never know. You said you'd like the Vive Pro, but it's a bit pricey for the pockets. Fuck yeah, that shit $1,400 for the whole shebang over at Best Buy. That shit is crazy. Yeah, JD Max, he said, yeah, you're ready. So yeah, I think I got a decent computer. I'd like to have a better CPU in it, but I'm not going to attempt to put a better CPU into that computer until the warranty runs out, because I don't want to do anything that's going to compromise the warranty on that computer. So I'm leaving it as is. What I got is what I'm running with. Spartan Guy, you said it is coming to VR. Hey, that'll be cool. Because we need a Mario type game. We need a Mario Kart type game to come to VR. So that was the first video that Terrell Wood did, where he compared the Rift S, the Rift, and the Vive. Again, the Vive had a decent picture, but the pixels, the individual pixels, you could see it. And then when he zoomed in on, when Terrell zoomed in on the pictures of all three headsets, the Vive looked like Pac-Man dots, because of being able to see the individual pixels. Then he did another video where he compared the Rift S, I think the Samsung Odyssey Plus, and the Vive Pro. I could not see a difference between those three, but yet the Vive Pro is $1,400. I think the Samsung Odyssey Plus, I don't know how much that's I don't know how much the Samsung Odyssey Plus is. I don't know if that's different. I don't know if there's a Samsung Odyssey and a Samsung Odyssey Plus. I know the Samsung Odyssey costs about $500. If there's a Plus version of it that's different from the standard version, I don't know what that costs. But again, out of those three headsets, I did not see a difference between the three of them. None of them I could point out and say there was a clear winner out of those three. So the Oculus Rift S is holding its own against, some of these bigger headsets, some of these pricier headsets. And it clearly won between the Rift, the standard Rift, and the HTC Vive. So I was concerned about the refresh rate with an 80 hertz refresh rate. I was concerned about the shit I heard about the blacks not being so deep and all this shit. But I think, and I was also concerned about the inside out tracking. I was also concerned that, I guess certain games, like certain shooting games, if you bring your hands like directly in front of you, that the cameras, miss it. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is going ahead and get the Rift S, and I think I'm going to use it for racing simulators and everything else. But games where I know that tracking is paramount, then I'll stick with my standard Oculus, because I have three sensors, two in the front, one in the back. Top Dog, you said get the Index. I want to get the Index, but I don't want to drop $1,000. I don't want to spend that kind of money. I just don't. And then there's and then the other thing that The other thing that I'm staring in the face is that I sent my car to the shop. My car's got some issues. My brother thought it was the alternator. He put another alternator in it, and that did not fix the problem. And he threw in the towel. So I had to send the car to a shop, and I'm waiting for the car. I'm waiting to hear the news on what it's going to cost me to get my car fixed. And I think if it costs me less than 500, if it costs me $500 or less to get my car fixed, then I'm going to go ahead and get the Rift S. If it costs like $800-900 to get my car fixed, then I'm going to have to wait, to get the Rift S, because I don't want to spend a bunch of money at once. And shit, in fact, you said Steep is free on Uplay just now. Don't know if it's any good, but I added it to my library. What is Steep? I know I was going to say something else about getting a Rift S in the situation with my car. I know I was saying something, but I think what I wanted to say was that I know what I was going to say. And this is off the subject. But if you are if you are looking for a TV, now might be the time to get it, because Walmart is clearing out their TVs right now to get ready for the next year model TVs, and they've got TVs up there that's like $200-300 off, for clearance. And I bought a Hisense. I think it was last fall or whatever. I bought a 65-inch Hisense ULED TV, and they classify this TV as a budget TV. I paid $1,000 for this TV. They classify it as a budget TV. It supports HDR10, 4K, 120 hertz refresh rate, all that good shit, and they call it a budget TV. And I'm telling you, I'm no expert, but I'm telling you, I was at Best Buy, and this TV, this Hisense ULED TV, had a picture that was comparable to the Samsung Q6. You know, with these quantum dot TVs, Samsung has the Q6, 7, 8, and 9, and 9 was goddamn. Whoa. Yeah, JD Max, it sounds like it's an electrical problem, and the mechanic's gonna charge me $75 an hour to track it down. That's why I gotta, wait to see what it's gonna cost to get my car fixed. Whatever it costs, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay it. The thing is that if it's less than $500 to fix the car, then I'm gonna get a valve. I'm gonna get a Rift S that day. But if it costs like $800-900, then I'm gonna have to wait, and pay some of this shit off. You know what I mean? Because I'm still paying on my Alienware computer. Again, I got some. What's up, Zozo? What's going on? Welcome to the channel. But back to this TV thing. I bought this ULED TV, this Hisense 65-inch, and I think it's comparable to the Samsung Q6. And again, this Hisense was $1,000, but a 65-inch Q6 was $1,700. And I said that makes no sense for me to pay an extra $700 for a TV where I can't see the difference. So I went with the ULED TV. It was $1,000, and it has a tremendous picture. I like the TV so much that I bought my son the 55-inch ULED TV for Christmas, $650. And boy, let me tell you how happy he was. Because when he saw this 65-inch ULED TV and he saw what Gears of War looked like, in the HDR and that kind of stuff, he started dropping hints about, do they have this in the 55-inch, all this shit. So he started working on me. And, I knew I was going to get it for him, but, I just let him make his sales pitch to me. Do they have it at 55 inch? How much does it cost? You know, all this kind of stuff. So I ended up getting him the 65 inch ULED TV. Now here's the part, like that the 65 inch ULED that I paid $1,000 for, it's on clearance right now at Target for $750. The 55 inch ULED that I got my son for Christmas, this TV is normally $650. It's on clearance now for $400. I was so close. I was about to go pick the shit up today, the 55 inch for my bedroom, because I have a Hisense H6 in my bedroom. It's a good TV. It's definitely a good bargain TV, but the ULED is way above that. Like basically, like the ULED is basically like their top of the line TV. And I was about to go buy it, but I had to think to myself, why are you going to go buy a 55 inch TV for the bedroom? You already have a 4K HDR TV in the bedroom, and you don't play anything in there because my Xbox S is in there. I don't play any games in my bedroom because I don't really play any flat screen games anymore. So it would be a waste of money if I would have went and bought it as much as I want that TV. But if anybody's thinking about getting a TV right now, I would say at least check the Walmart website or go to your local Walmart, and check out some of the clearance sales they got, because they clearing out more than just that Hisense. They're clearing out a lot of shit to get ready for the new models. So I think that turned out to be perfect. I got to get ready to wrap it up here, so I can get ready to go pick my son up. I got to meet up to pick him up at 2:00. I don't think there's any. I think I covered it all on VR as far as I know. That's what I was gonna say. So Tuesday on the 21st, again, huge day, Quest Day. So how I plan to Tuesday is the 21st. Let me make sure first. Today's the 18th, so we got Tuesday's the 21st. So my first order of business when I get out of work Tuesday is that I'm going to Best Buy so I can try the Oculus Quest. Hopefully they'll have hopefully they'll have demos for the Oculus Rift S, because I want to see for myself. Now, I think Tyrell Wood's video was a great video, but I cannot make a final decision based on his video. I still need to see it for myself, and therefore, I'm going to check it out. And I'm hoping that they have the Oculus Rift demos ready, because if they do, I want to see the resolution. I want to see what the background look like, how clear the background is going to be. And I also want to test the tracking on it. I want to do shit where I'm going to be reaching behind my head and see how the tracking is. So at first, I was looking at it when it crossed my mind to get a Rift S. I was looking at it as a possible replacement for my current Oculus Rift, but no, I'm not going to get rid of my current Rift. So I'll have both of them. I think I'll have both headsets at some point. I'll have the Rift and the Rift S. So with that being said, let me get ready to take off out of here. And again, I want to let everybody know that I had a lot of fun with the Friday Night Jam, and I plan to go on with this. So I will do another show next Friday. I want to make this a Friday thing. I can't do it on Saturdays because my son is here, and he kind of hogs up the computer, playing Gears of War on PC. So I just got to come up with a good time that I think works for everybody. I think when I'm trying to present a party atmosphere with a Friday Night Jam, I think doing it at what's up, Coon? I think doing a show at 6 p.m. or something like that. I think it's super early because people are getting home on the East Coast, unwinding. People are probably getting ready to go to bed over in Europe because at that point it would be about 11 o'clock. And then it would be, people are still at work on the West Coast. So, so I'm thinking I want to do it at 9:30, 10 o'clock, but that would mean that I would be cutting the round table short and having to take off early from the round table. But I really want to be able to do this at a decent hour so, as many people as possible can catch it live. Um, you know, Whatever I decide to do, I will let the roundtable know what my plans are. Whether I plan to keep doing it at 11 or move it to 10 o'clock, I will keep them informed, and I will keep you all informed too. So keep a watch out on Twitter. I'll let you know what my plans are through Twitter, or if I do another podcast between now and Friday, I'll let you know on that podcast as well. So with that being said, thanks everybody for coming to Wakanda. I appreciate it. I appreciate your visits to Wakanda as always. And as always, while your shuttles are being prepared to lift you back to your destinations, we have care packages for everyone who visited Wakanda. And with that being said, give it a like, all that good stuff. And I'm going to boogie on out of here so I can get ready to pick up my son. I'll do another stream today. Now that I got the webcam set up, I think I might do another Space Junkies stream. Thomas Hand, cheers. All right, cool. We'll catch you later. Jemai, we'll catch you later. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And again, I'll do some kind of stream today. I don't know what, but I'll do something today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Give it a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I will holler at y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Play some games today. Have fun. And Wakanda forever!